you able to hear me, see me, and you can also see the screen as well.
Yes, for both.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so we'll start the meeting right away. We'll end it on time. Let's start with the prayer. Close your eyes, palms together. Seek the blessing from your own, your gurus, God, and goddesses. Go done, slowly open. Okay. Today our agenda will be like that. We start with the Gocharam, then we going with the horoscope, then followed by our lessons. It's the three main parts we are going to see today. Okay. Let's see. It start with the Gocharam of today. Guru in the Rishabharasi, Mangal and the Chandra in the Mithuna, Ketu in the Kanya, Saturn and the Surya in the Kumbha, Rahu, Chukran and the Buddhan in the Meenarasi. So as usual, the people who have the Chandra as the eighth house, Mithuna as the eighth house, or who have the Chandra in the Mithuna, or the Mithuna Rasi becomes the sixth house, Mithuna Rasi becomes the 12th house, and or the Mithuna becomes the Rasi, or Mithuna becomes the Lagna. And this is the day you have to see and watch your mind and how you're reacting to others. How you're reacting to others, how your mind was wavering or not, or it was in a saturated state or not. This is the best day to experiment yourself. For the people which I said earlier. Okay. And the simple thing, instead of listing the number of the people, one simple thing. When the Chandra is in the Gocharam, when the Gochara Chandra moves over your Chandra, that is the day the best day for experiment yourself. And the checkpoint here is it's not that much easy. And that is the day everything comes on your head and you don't have a mindset to experiment yourself. So it's a God's grace if you can do that experiment on yourself. Okay, let's getting into the Pancha. There is a Dasami followed by the Ekadasi, Nakshatra, Punarvashu followed by the Pushya. In the yoga, Saubhagya Yoga, Shobana followed by, and Karana, Garaja, Vanija, and the Vishti. Weekday Ravivara, Paksha is the Shukla Paksha. Yeah. Let's start with the horoscope first. We already know we are following we are reading the horoscope of Saturn.
I just want to say, today's moon is on my moon.
That's awesome. And what do you feel from when the moon was over your moon? How are you feeling that day, particularly that days?
I'm feeling very comfortable and calm. No issues.
Let's see why it was happening like that. Okay. And male age is 58. We already know date and place, time of birth. And the important things we remember is whenever you see any horoscope, first thing you have to identify the Lagna, Rashi, Mithuna Lagna. So this is the wonderful thing, right? Because his Lagna is also Mithuna, Rashi is also Mithuna, and now the moon is where his Gochar moon is also traveling over his moon. Okay. Then the Dasha, Buddhi Antar is the Venus. We already have the Gocharam handy, birth chart, and yeah, everything in your hand. Okay. This is the best example. Moon is over moon today. When Guru is along with that, may also give you the comfortable position. Or when the moon is in the Mithuna Rasi, it won't give you that much harm. That too, along with the Jupiter, that is the beautiful of the moon. When the moon combined with any auspicious graha, the Jupiter is a full auspicious graha. It won't give you that much harmfulness. But if the moon is combined with Rahu and Ketu, you will see the real effect in your life. Sometimes it may give you a little bit of discomfort in your body or in the way of speaking. You may get into trouble while you're speaking, or you may spend something, or you become the obstacles to yourself. It may turn in a different twist and turns in for yourself when the moon is over. Okay, leave the story. Come back to the horoscope. Today we are going to learn about one new concept. We'll go with that slowly. First thing we understand about the fifth house. We already know about his first 2 to 4 houses. Now we are getting into the fifth house. Let me get ready for the pen here. Okay. Now we are going to see the fifth house. Who is the owner here?
Venus.
Venus is the owner. The Venus is also own one more house. Which house it is?
Rishabha.
12th.
Rishabha Rasi. That is the 12th house for him, right?
Yep.
So for now the fifth house, owner is also owning one more house. That is the 12th house. And interestingly, the Venus is also the Virayadipati. The Dashabhuti is also happening. So that is a wonderful thing to know. So now the Venus was in the Ashtama, the Venus was in the 8th house. That means the Adipati was in the 8th house. 5th house owner, 12th house owner was seated in the 8th house. And that Dasha Buddhi was happening currently. This thing we have to keep that in mind. So why you need to keep that in mind? Okay, when the 5th house happening in his life, can last me question. Okay, when the any of the significance of the 5th house happening in his life, similarly, same time, the 12th house is also come into effect. It will not be like that. Okay, the 5th house was happening, the 12th house effect would affect his life. It was not like that because the owner is the same person. Venus is the owner is the same person. And in the 5th house, there was no graha in it. So the entirely fully occupied by the Venus itself. But for the 12th house, the story was different there. Even though the Virayadipati was in the Dasha Buddhi happening, but the Graha was present in it. When the 12th house, when the Ragu was present in the 12th house, it's not a good sign, but it will give you an effect in a different way. Like it may give disturbance in your business, it may give disturbance in your body, it may give disturbance in some of your expenses. You may consider a situation you have to spend $1,000 for something, but it will provide you in such a way that you have to spend 10 times more than your actual spending. That kind of the thing comes into your life. But then you will say, no, Anita, I'm not having like that expenditure. I'm okay with my life. Then there is a situation will change. What is that meaning? He may not live in his father's home. He may not live in his ancestors' home. He lived from the property which is away from his ancestors, particularly from his father or from his ancestors' property, or he was entirely living out of the country, out of the region where he was born. So if that was happening, or else this condition also not no yes, then is one more condition will come. He lives in a property which is entirely owned by him, or he lives in a property which is rented. Then the 12th house Rahu may not get affected. Okay, this will come into the story when we come into the 12th house. Now we are much more concentrated on the 5th house. So we don't need to distract for the 12th house. We'll check with him when we come back into the 12th house. Now come back to the 5th house. So the 5th house, many significance, but we have to understand only the main characteristics of the 5th house. It tells about the children. It tells about the birth of the children, how the difficult of the birth, how you're going to grow the child, and the pregnancy woman is also represented by 5th house, and the pregnancy is also represented by the 5th house. You may also check with the peoples. They may tell my first child pregnancy was really tough. Then you have to see the 5th house is there any inauspicious graha was present in it. That will clearly tell you. Or the 5th house auspiciousness was highly reduced, means they will get difficulty in the pregnancy. And all kind of the amusements it represented in the 5th house. Importantly, the Purva Punya means with the kind of the virtues which you derive from your ancestors, it's inherent from one generation to the another generation. That is also represented in the 5th house. And particularly, this is the important romance. Romance is also represented in the 5th house. and the intelligence and the creativity. Okay. These are all the main things we have to see in the fifth house. Now we come back into the fifth house for Satish. There was no Graha present in it. So who we have to take? We have to consider the owner of the house. Owner of the house is the Venus. So importantly, when the Venus Dasha Buddhi was happening, definitely the fifth house characteristics will be take place into his life. It's already carrying on, and some of the significant thing will be happening in your life. Then his intelligence level will be much more higher. He may put his intelligence or creativity in different ways, different forms. And now this is the point. He enjoy his purupni. That means the virtues which is derived from his ancestors. This is the point. He may enjoy that kind of the privilege. And you may ask, okay, what is that? See, you may encounter in the different kind of the difficult situation, but if you have the good name in your life, it will go like that. It will go just like there's a scratch on your body. It won't give you kind of an big injury into your body in the moment. It will go, the entire accident may become a side scratch for you if you have the good virtues. If you hold on to your good virtues. No, if that was not the case, you may getting into the different kind of the troubles altogether. Okay, let's check with him, Satish, first. Which kind of in your point of view, you know about the fifth house, right? What are the things which is prominently happening in your life? Or if you are using your intelligence or creativity, or you are much more interested in amusement type of things, like you want to enjoy your life. I want to enjoy the time with my family. I will tell you why I'm telling the family later, particularly with my wife and the children. And which one is prominent in your life at this moment? Don't go beyond that, because currently the Venus Dasha Buddhi is also happening.
Yeah, I have a natural intelligence and creativity happens wherever I go, and amusement is always there. Maybe at times situation is a heavy situation. Also, we find amusement in my workplace. I was finding it. And with respect to, you said that Puropanya coming to my help, that has happened many times in my whatever assignment or whatever is happening. I used to get some help without, there would be a what is a bottleneck situation. Somehow it will get eased off. I don't know. But if I keep working on that, it gets eased out easily. I don't know how it happens. It happens.
And how
And for my wife, she was me and my wife. We were told we will be getting a late child only, but with God's grace, I got it in. I mean, I was able to get my son in the second year itself of my marriage.
The romance is not only the affairs between a man and woman. The romance is also between your family, between your friends. So, how about the lovable life among your family and the friends? Is that
Initially, it was very nice. Till my school days and all those things, it was very nice. When I moved to my college days, it was very uneasy kind of relationship.
No. This moment,
This moment, it's okay. My sisters are not very close to me now, but my brother is somehow suddenly, I mean, becoming a little friendly. That is on the face of it. And I'm living separately in Bangalore. My house and my ancestry is in Chennai.
Okay, that is the way you are escaping from the 12th house in the Rahu, because this kind of a situation will occur in your life if your Purva Punyam was really good. It makes you to move from the place which gives you trouble and it put you into the safest location. This kind of a situation will definitely occur in your life.
Okay.
Now, I told you that he gives much more importance to his family. So why? I will tell you the reason in here. Now we are going to understand one concept which we are going to combine in every analysis from here. Okay, what is that? We already know about the Kalapurusha chart. We revise this Kalapurusha chart. chart n number of the times. So for your revision, I'm again going to show you this for a while. So Kalapurusha's Lagna starts with the Mesha Lagna, second Vrishaba. That means the Kalapurusha's first house is the Mesha. Second Rishabha, third Lagna, fourth Karka, fifth Simha, sixth Kanya, seventh Tula, eighth Vrishaba, ninth Dhanush, 10th Magara, 11th Kumbha, 12th Mula. We have to keep that in mind. Why we need to remember this? Well, let's come back into Satish Harashtupati. So here, now you have to concentrate on the point where I'm showing the cursor. See, you see my cursor which is moving here. For Satish, Mithuna is the Lagna. Everybody can follow my cursor, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I can show here. So this is the point you have to concentrate on. Okay. The first one is the house of the Satish, the Jataka of the house of the Jataka. First house, second house, third, fourth till 12th house. Okay. Now we have to concentrate on the second number, which is, you see, this is the 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. Why it was like that? Because for the Kalapurusha's house, which is in the first house is the Mesha, second house is the Rishabha, third is the Mithuna, fourth is the Karka, fifth, sixth, seventh till 12th. Sorry, till 12th. Until here, you have any doubts on this? Next point, we have to see the combination of this two. Until here, the number is okay. The
Yes,
first number is the Satish house. Satish Jataka's first house, second house, till the 12th house. Second number is the Kalapurusha's number. This much clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we see the one more point here. Whenever you see the horoscopes, currently which house we are seeing? We are seeing on the 5 and the 7. And the owner who is the Venus, the owner was in the combination of 8 and 10. And he's also owned one more house, that is the 12 and the 2. So whenever there is also one more layer comes with here. I'm not including that part here. We go with only Venus. What is the one more layer? We have to consider where the Venus was sitting. That is who's the owner where the Venus was sitting. Who's the owner? Okay, Saturn is the owner. And the Saturn owned by the two houses, Saturn which is sitting in the other. We don't need to complicate this much. Let's go one by one. Simplify the thing. So here, when you're seeing the fifth house is a combination of 5 and 7. When you're having this much clear, this is more than enough. What is that meaning? This fifth house significance will be happening in his life, or the seventh house happening in his life. When this owner or Dasha Buddhi was happening, either one will happen. When the fifth house significance will happen, seventh house significance will happen. If he try to spend the time with he may try to spend with the time with his wife, or that means a life partner, or the business partners, or the colleagues. This is the highest chance for him. When the 12 and the 2, he may spend the money. This is the income which is coming to him, and this is the 12th is the expenditure. So, sorry, anybody speaking?
No, I think somebody was talking to somebody else.
Okay, I believe.
Hey, you mute somebody.
Okay, I mute everybody. If you want to unmute, please unmute yourself. Okay. This one, when the beginning, it gives a little bit confusion, but we don't need to confuse that much. Understand 2 points only. One is the house which the Jataka was. Additionally, we are remembering the Kalapurusha's house also. So once you remember that point, so for example, now we are seeing fifth house only. Fifth house here is the 5, 5 is the fifth house for the Shakti, seventh house is the Kalapurusha's house. So when the moment Dasha Buddhi happening for the fifth house owner, why we need to consider the fifth house owner? Because there was no Graha present in it. So we have to consider the owner. The owner Dasha Buddhi was happening. So this is the time most of the significance of these two bhavas will happening for you. One is the fifth house character, second is the seventh house significance. That is the mainly happening for him. Okay, why we need to consider the 12th house? Because that is also owner of the Venus room, one more house, that is the 12th house for Sati. But for the Kala Purusha, it is a second house. So whenever you see the horoscope, when the owner was ruled one more house, look into that house also. This much clear about his chart, or we get confused anyway? Any doubts on here?
It's okay.
It's like no. Anybody speaking?
It is okay, Vanita.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. From next week onwards, we are going to implement this kind of the concept, but add-ons to that we are not getting into more complicated seeing horoscope building. But you have to keep this in mind when the Kala Purusha's house as well as the Jataka's house. Initially, it really becomes tough instead of remembering. But while you are practicing, you no need to put this number in the chart itself. It will come on your own. Okay. Okay, let's getting into the Saturn. Okay, today we are going to see the graha about the Saturn. When we learn about we are going to learn about the Saturn. The Saturn, another name is the Sanishwaran. So among the Navagrahas, this is the only planet to achieve the title of the Ishwaran. So that means he have that kind of the potential to reach the Ishwaran status. Then he is also called as a Sanechara. And okay, when Saturn comes into the picture, there are the few things you have to remember. When you picture the Saturn in front of you, you picture like this. He or she is an organized person, very well structured, and they are disciplined. They want to maintain the justice in every way. What is the meaning of justice in every way? Even if they want to give the pen to both people's, imagine the Saturn is his teacher, and they do the justice to the students in every way. And if he's the homemaker, he do the justice to everybody. In the home itself, they are very very well disciplined. If the things was not organized, they can't even tolerate that. My father was having a Saturn in the Lagna. If you see his work desk, was very well organized. Even though he was so much busy, and he maintained an organized structure in his table all the time. I never missed him. I never missed that kind of the scene in not even a single day. That kind of the disciplined peoples they are. Importantly, they are very much self-disciplined. And okay, these are all the important good things about the Saturn, right? Okay, what are the other side of the Saturn? Saturn is very much into the work, deep into the work. It wants to do the work efficiently, diligently. But it's also the other nature, it delays in the work. We'll see why the delay will come. And the Saturn is also a representation of in the metal, it's an iron. If you're, one of my teacher was told me this, that was an interesting point. If you have an iron percentage high in your body, you may think there was no God and that the God was not present in the world. Because iron makes you do things like that. If your iron was in a normal percentage or an average percentage, the tendency to think about the God is high. So that kind of the chemical inside of our body makes you to think, change our emotion. Okay, let's come back to the Saturn. And the Saturn is also a representation of your long life. The longevity in your life is also represented by the Saturn. Okay, let's keep that in mind. And the Saturn is also on another side. There's a delay. It's in another state of the laziness. Some people will say it is a delay, some people will say it is a laziness, but comes into the human nature. Why this kind of the delay and the laziness will come? When imagine a situation, one person is the holding a high energy of the moon. The another person was holding a high energy of the Saturn. The moon person, what it will do, and assume you ask them to do one work at a time. The moon will finish the work in a fraction of a second. But the Saturn will do the work very slowly, efficiently. Why this kind of difference happening? The moon planet is the fast moving planet among the Navagraha, and the Saturn is the very, very slow planet among the Navagraha. The peoples who in front of them think like they're delay in nature, but for them, they are moving. They are already doing the process. They won't think I'm not doing the work. They feel like, okay, no, still I'm doing the work. The other people may ask, why it was not finished? They will answer, no, it will finish. It takes time. But they didn't realize they are delaying the process. That's why the people will say they are lazy and the delayed process, all the stuff will come. We'll come back, we'll see the Saturn's nature in every houses here on. Okay, now.
Vanita, I have a doubt? When we say Saturn is disciplined, organized, and structured, it is just contradictory, that people who are organized, structured, and disciplined should be on time. Like in the sense, they should be on track, they should have the timeline, everything. But it is very contradictory. Why is that?
Okay, I will tell you that reason. See, the Saturn is a kind of the dual thing. When it have a kind of one habit inside it, if you follow the pattern, imagine a situation. Okay, I thought to tell you in the first house itself. Okay, hold that point. I will come back to and explain the same answer when the Saturn in the first house. Okay, hold that question. Hold that question. Give me a second. Okay, now we'll see a little bit more about the Saturn. It owns the two houses, Makara and the Kumbha. And the Moola Trikona is a Kumbha Rashi, 0 to 20 degree. Gender is the female and the male, and also in it. Why we are saying it is not a male or female? Exactly, it's a female, it's a male. Why we are not saying like that? Why we are saying in it? Because the energy which is held inside the body, it's having the capacity of the male energy and the female energy. Okay, consider as a division two planets, Mars and the Saturn. Mars was holding a tremendous courage in it, and it will destroy any person in front of it. And the Saturn was covered in nature. It didn't have that kind of the courage. The fear is always inside it. Most of the time, if the people who are born on the Vagrasani, that means the retrograde Saturn, they hold the unknown fear inside them. Mostly all the time. Some people overcome that. They overcome that means they suppress it, or they didn't allow that kind of the fear come out to touch their mind level. They do some kind of the practice to suppress it. But what is the difference here? The Saturn is not the male energy. It's not a strong force. It's not the female energy, very soft force. It's in between. So that's why the fearfulness, the kind of the courage which is equivalent to Mars, it won't come to them. There are really some kind of people who fear. They hold the fear inside, not outside, inside. The fear, they feel the fear inside at least very gently. But when the time goes on, when their maturity, okay, the one interesting thing about the Saturn is also about the maturity. It's quickly mature, but it takes time. That's why the people didn't understand the maturity of the Saturn. It matured easily. When it was matured, can't even imagine the wisdom which exhibited by that Saturn. Okay, come back here. Three aspects, 3, 7, and the 10. Direction west, directional strength is also west. Malefic, absolutely malefic. Okay, Adi Devata, Prajapati, and the Pratyadi Devata, Yama. And Yama is also brother for the Saturn. And the elements is the Vayu, dosha is the Vata. And okay, let's come back into see where it was debilitated. It's debilitated in the Mesha Rasi exactly at 20 degree and exalted in Tula. I didn't mention that. It exalted in the Tula Rasi, same 20 degree. Okay, we already see about the Mula Tripuna. It's the Kumbha Rasi. Okay, is there in the houses of the Saturn and the house of the Saturn, Kumbha and the Makara, there is one planet was exalted, that is the Mars is exalted in the Makara Rasi, debilitated is the Jupiter. For the Kumbha Rasi, there is no Graha exalted or debilitated. Okay. Okay, now let us think more about the Saturn. When it comes into the relationship, okay, here is an interesting point. You can, if you're really find it hard to remember this relationship, group people in the 7 people like this: Saturn, Mercury, and Venus, Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Mars. If you have the group like this, you can easily remember. When this combination comes, definitely they are friends or neutral. When this combination comes, they are definitely friends or neutral. They won't come into the enemy category. But when combined with this one, this group and this group, they come into the enemy nature. Okay. Remember that all the time. It will be easy to remember. Okay. Now come back into the nakshatra. 8th Pushya Nakshatra, 7th Anuradha, 26th Uttra Bhadrapada. Saturn's Dasha phase is the 19 years. Okay. Getting into a little bit more about the Saturn. Saturn first house is the Marana Karaka. Okay, remember this point. We are going to discuss in great detail about the first house. The question which is also asked earlier, that is also related with this. We will combine and find an answer in the Saturn in the first house slide. Combustion 0 to 15 degree, but mostly the people will say if it was plus or minus 5 degrees, some teachers were saying it is a plus or minus 3 degree, but depends upon the horoscope which you are seeing. Ask them whether it was fully combusted or not. They can easily exhibit the nature. Yoga Karaka. Okay, the Saturn was having the Yoga Karaka. How? The people who are born in the Rishabha Lagna, the people who are born in the Tula Lagna, they have the Saturn as the Yoga Karaka. Why? Because the Tripona, which is comes in ninth house is the Marana Karaka, 10th house, 9th house is the Makara Rasi, 10th house is the Kumbha Rasi. For the Tula, 5th house is the Kumbha, 4th house is the Makara Rasi. So that means the Saturn becomes the Yoga Karaka. Then the Bhataka Sthana, when comes into the here we are seeing where the Saturn becomes the Yoga Karaka, where the Saturn becomes the Bhataka Sthana. For the people who are having the Mesha Lagna and the Rishabha Rasi, it's a Thara and a Stera Rasi. For the Mesha Rasi, 11th house Kumbha, Saturn becomes the Lord of Obstacle. Rishabha Rasi, 9th house, Makara Rasi becomes the Lord of Obstacle. Okay. Now coming to here, the know your planet, little bit more about where the Saturn, any kind of the waste storage in any form, whether it is a liquid, solid, semi-liquid, semi-fluid, it's all relevant to the Saturn. When you see the garbage, it is the representation of the Saturn. Trees, the tree which is having the thorns in it, that is the Saturn. Season, winter. One zodiac sign, 2.5 years. So totally it will take 30 years to finish. If you see one more 30 years, then you will reach 60 years. So that means one round of the entire zodiac sign, it takes 30 years to finish. Guna, Tamasi Guna. Tamasi means the people who hold the Saturn significance higher in them, the tamasic nature comes into their body as a nature. It comes by nature. They do the work very, very slowly. Even if they ask you to rub the board also, they rub the board. Okay, they rub the board very efficiently, very neatly. But the only one factor will be missing, that is the quickness. They will rub the board for an hour also. but that is not going to be put in the practical life, right? Vagnam is the crow or crow, Grain is the sesame. So most of the time, if you want to invoke the Saturn's energy, if you see the people who go and go to the temple and light the lamp of the lamp with the sesame, they put the sesame seeds into the black cloth and they tie them knot, and they put the sesame oil into the diya and they light the lamp. Why this one, which might gives much more significance? Because when the sesame is a representation of the Saturn's energy, and when you are invoking the Saturn's energy, when you are seeking the blessings of the Saturn, you are really invoking the Saturn's energy in front of you in the universe. So it is a form of the sesame seeds that fill with black cloth in it. And the sesame oil, when you pour to lit the lamp, that will literally invoke the Saturn's energy. So mostly when you see there are some kind of the heat need for the spiritual things. When you put the prasadam in front of you, the peoples won't put the prasadam in the very cold prasadam. They cook the prasadam and immediately they submit it to the god. It was like the submission is not the food, the taste of the food. The submission is the smell and the heat, not the other things. The smell and the heat that goes into the spiritual area, spiritual body. That's why they put everything in. They put every prasadam in very hot. Even if they put into pongal or any kind of thing, they put when they put into the prasadam, they ensure it holds a little bit of heat in it. Okay, I don't want to go back into that kind of the thing. Come back here. Color mainly black and the multicolors. Flowers, any dark colors, particularly blue color flowers. If you believe that, okay, I want to enhance the Saturn's energy, wear the thick blue or the black color. Knowingly, unknowingly, you touch the energy of the Saturn here and there. Metal, iron. Gemstones, blue sapphire. Maturity age 36 years. Dhatu, nerve cells. Okay, Navagraha Stotra.
Vanita, can you just go back to slide 12, please?
Well, okay.
Just a minute. Okay. Okay, yeah, I missed one note. Thank you.
If you want to invoke the Sani Graha, there are various ways. You can go to the temple and pray for the Sani. And if you do the hard work, you are literally calling the Sani. And there is, when you are chanting the Navagraha, especially for the Sani, that is also one way for invoking the Sani Bhava. Nilanjana Samabhasham, Raviputram Imagrajam, Chaya Martanda Sambodham, Tam Namami Sanaicham. It was praising the Lord of the Sanishwaran, saying that your father was the Ravi, that is the Surya, and your mother was the Chaya. So you're such a kind of a person. I am prostrating towards you. Just not the exact meaning, but it's a kind of here and there. I missed the meaning, but that it was kind of praising the Sani, saying that I'm invoking you. So why this kind of the sutram needed for invoking the Navagrahas? Because when some of the tones which utter in such a way, you literally touch the energy of that Navagrahas. If you chant the Surya name continuously in different tones, one way or once in a while or in some few days, you will touch that energy. If you see the people who do this Sahasraram chanting for a number of days, they definitely touch that kind of an higher energy. But the touching the energy is not a matter. If you are persistent in your chanting, persistent in your sadhana, you definitely touch. But the question will come, once you touch, you will be able to maintain that or not. Because the ones you touch, when you getting in, you slide deep into the where you come in, the comeback is really easy. But maintaining in the same position is really tough because your sadhana have to be maintained that level also. Okay, let's come back here. Okay, now we come back to the Saturn in the first house. We'll find the answer for the question also here. Okay, Saturn in the first house. The Saturn in the first house, in the Lagna represents the person, the exact Jataka, the representation of the Jataka. Okay, here comes the thing. Consider a situation, the child was born on the Makara Lagna. Okay, if you ask if you let the kid grow on its own, you are not providing any kind of the structure to him. You are letting him to grow, he or she on his own. Okay, let's grow because he is also one of my kids. Let it go. I don't want to restrict him. I don't want to form a format for him. Let it grow because let him wake up whichever time he wants. And once you wake up, you don't need to go to the school if you want, or if you don't want, you sleep on your bed. If you do like that, the Lagna, the people who have the Lagna Sani, they become very, very lazy, regardless of how much knowledge they acquire. Okay, but what is the point? That was the worst scenario we see, right? Now we see the scenario in a different way. If the kid was born on the Lagna Sani and you frame one pattern, you say, okay, this is the time you have to wake up, and this is your bath time, you finish and you do your morning routine, go to school, come back, and you have this is your study time, this is your play time, and this is the time you have to spend with your family. And once they adopt into that, they are very much disciplined, they are very much organized. You can't pull out from it. Once the pattern was formed, when they feel, okay, this is my schedule and this is my thing, they went on with that way for very lifelong also. Even when they are in 60, 70 years, they won't change the pattern. You really wonder to see that kind of the person because I see in my own family, they are very, very organized. But if the situation changes, if you see, if you didn't insist or if you didn't install any one of the pattern in their life, the laziness immediately come into them. Okay, we call it as a laziness, but for them it was not a laziness because they are doing the work. They always do the work, but imagine a situation. The moon was here. Moon was this is the work level. Okay. And the Saturn is also going to do the same work level. There is the work level, there is no difference. Both of them have to do the same work level. But okay, where is my cursor? Okay, moon will finish it very quickly. Even in 5 minutes, it will finish and it started to do it another work. Okay, but the Saturn do the work. Okay, let's start here. It's a hard worker. It's very, very hard worker. It starts the work, do the work. It's very much disciplined. Wherever he went, wherever he finished, he again start and come back, again start, come back, again start, come back, and do its work. It's a non-stop worker, very hard worker, and do exactly like that. But moon was not like that. It starts and done, so finished. Saturn will do, will do, will do, will do. Moon was took 5 minutes and Saturn will take 5 days. I'm just giving an example. But if you ask the moon person, they will see the Saturn person as a very lazy person. But when you ask the Saturn person, they say, no, I'm doing my work. I do every day and I'm doing my hard work and I see the result. They didn't understand the speedness in them because the Saturn's energy, it was a slow moving planet. They also do the work in such a way that they do the work. They're very, very hard worker. But the moon will find its the tricks which is want to finish the work very quickly. But Saturn is not like that. Saturn always find a way, which is straightforward only. It follows the rules and regulations strictly. But the moon is not like that. Okay, he finds it uses all his might to find the n number of shortcuts to finish the work. Saturn is not a person to follow the shortcut. Because that kind of energy it holds. It was an energy which can okay, imagine a situation, the moon, in order to finish this work, it needs the energy of the 50%. Imagine, I'm just giving an example. Moon immediately loses energy. So that's why it wants to finish it. But the Saturn is not like that. It holds a tremendous energy in it. That's why even though it was taken for 5 days of the work, and that can be finished in 5 minutes, 5 days of the work, the Saturn is having an energy. But for the other people, it looks like a lazy. They see the person as they're very slow, they can't do it. But when you ask the Saturn person, they will say, no, I'm relentlessly working. I never stopped my work. I'm a very hard work person in entire universe. It's all true. Both of them saying the truth. And the moon person was saying this person was lazy, or in his point of view, in his sight, it was yes. Why? Because the work which can be finished in 5 minutes, the other person was doing in 5 days, for his point of view, it is lazy. Of course it is. But when you come in to see in the perspective of the Saturn was saying, no, I'm continuously doing my job. I'm not even wasting my time. That is also true. So the laziness, it's a kind of the word which you can't literally take it. But it means the laziness which comes into them very easily. If that particular person didn't have any pattern in their life, the laziness which comes into them very easily. Okay, we understand why the laziness comes into them. Because the Saturn movement is very slow. It's naturally slow. It's not their point. It's not their fault. It's the naturally it was be like that only. It's moves slow. Movement is very slow. That's why when you see the laziness which comes, but how come you can avoid it? You create a pattern. You create a pattern for the other people's. When from the day when minutes starts in the morning, minutes end in the night. If they have the timetable in front of them or pattern in front of them, they won't be lazy. I'm sure of it. They won't be lazy. If the pattern was created, on one important point. If the kid was having a habit of eating unhealthy foods from the childhood, like they try to eat whatever they want, fast foods or tinned items, preservatives, whichever it is, when they grow up come into the teenage or in the adulthood, they won't change their food habit, no matter what. Even they understand it's not good, it's not healthy, they won't accept. They go towards the unhealthy foods. But imagine a situation. You created a pattern when the child was growing. Okay, this is the healthy food, this is the unhealthy food. Make a choice. These people are really good in judgment. Okay, you have to spread in front of them. Okay, this is the right and this is the wrong. Choose yourself. Choose your own path. The 100, at least 90% of the kid will choose the right for you. And if you teach them every efficiently, this is the healthy food, this is the unhealthy food, you won't even cite unhealthy food, no matter what happens. So everything was correct. The people who are called as a lazy, called as a delay, is correct. But the Saturn is also holding the other characteristics, which is organized self-discipline. Instead of invoking this one, invoke this. Make them organized, make them disciplined. Then this laziness and delay will paid off. But then you may ask, how come this is possible? Still, they are going to work slowly, right? Okay, here comes an interesting thing. When they follow the pattern, when they follow the food habits, healthy food habits, healthy pattern in their life, their Saturn energy is not prominent for them. It's slowly coming to the balanced level. So that's why they can able to do the work efficiently Okay, imagine a situation, the kid was following some kind of the healthy patterns. Wake up early in the morning and eat healthy foods, do the proper exercise, and took some kind of the spiritual activities. And this is all the people's very good. If you ask them put into the spiritual activities, these people's are really good. So once you've done this, and once when they are grow up, they won't touch the scale of the laziness, not even 1 point, because the body will be balanced. They will be very much efficient. You may ask, the Saturn energy won't disturb them? No, the Saturn energy will help them. Help them in which way? Make them to organized, make them to disciplined. If they ask them, but they have very good quality. If they are you if they are you if you ask them to work for 36 hours, 48 hours continuously, these people are the very best. They work very, very diligently, and no one can match with them. Okay, you got an answer for that question which you asked?
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, thanks.
That is why it is sad that when you go in to see the horoscope for the people's, the kid which is born in the Lagna with the sun, people will say, no, this kid will be lazy. No, it won't. When whatever you insist, whatever you install in the kid's pattern, it will follow. If you see a person who's having the Mars in the Lagna, Saturn in the Lagna, imagine you created the pattern for the kid, which is in the Saturn in the first house. We created the pattern for Mars in the first house. This kid may forgot in his life, but the Saturn in the first house won't forgot. They won't even change a single bit in their pattern. If you see the peoples who are born in the Saturn, they are very much particular in whatever they are doing. They won't change a little bit. They would like to change also. Initially, they may show some kind of the struggle in their attaching into the pattern, kind of the healthy life. But once they get attached, it can't even change them. And when they plan to change also, they can't also. Okay. Anybody having the Saturn in first house? Okay. One interesting thing about Saturn again. They're very organized and disciplined and structured in their professional life. Okay. When the people in the Lagna, they devoted their entire life to the work. And most of the time I see when the Saturn in the first house, I imagine my father. They do anything for their professional life. They spend most of the time in their personal life, professional life only. Okay, this is also you have to create a pattern for them. When you see the kid which is on the Lagna in the Sunny in the Lagna, your job will be tough will be in the 5 years, in initial 5 years. After that, you don't need to worry about it. They will grow on their own because they already have the pattern in their mind, the pattern in their body. They know how to lead a healthy life. But why here giving in the red color? Because their nature tend towards their professional life only. Saturn is for work. If you ask them, the Lagna Sunny peoples, without work I can't live. That kind of the peoples. If you ask them to, okay, don't work, and you're not going to work in your lifetime, then there is nothing to do. You're not going to do anything with work. You really feel depressed. They can't even accept that kind of the situation in their life. So when they work, it's a nature for them. So what thing you have to add? You have to add the personal life, but how that is possible for an adult? It was really hard to make it. But if the kid was born, if the kid was just born, and at least 5 years within the 5 years old, you can make it. Till 10 years old, you can make it. But when the child was grown up with the different kind of the pattern, different kind of the habits which they are holding, kind of really tough to change that kid in towards the healthy habits. Okay? They definitely have a solid career My father was worked nearly for 39 years, I guess. And they're very mature. Very mature means they are matured in the early age itself. Even in their teenage, they have an ability to take the burden of their entire family also. That much mature they will become. Extremely hard workers. This, when you want to give an example of the people who's a hard worker and laborers in nature, Lagnas and person. Okay. Now we'll see. Wait, this is an example of the Madhura Lagna. Saturn was in it, and which is going to see the 3 aspect we already know. 3, 7, and 10. Okay. Before we seeing this aspect, there is also one important point about the Saturn is Saturn is distant from its family. How the story, I guess everybody remember. Saturn father is the sun, mother is the Chaya. The Chaya is the illusion created by the Surya's wife Sandhya. It's a kind of the different art altogether, and they created the human. And this Chaya is the mother, Surya is the father. But when they have when the Chaya was destroyed by the Sandhya, when he comes back from his father's home, Saturn feels it was not good and this and that, not having the good relationship with his Surya's first wife, that is Sandhya. Later on, there was a conflict and they had the fight also. And because of that fight, he pushed his Sandhya somewhat. And when his father saw him, okay, this is the bad habit, and he injured his leg. That's why he get angry with his entire family and go far away from his father's home. And that's why when you describe the Saturn, you describe the Saturn's energy, all the handicapped peoples of Saturn's energy, they tend to live far away from the family. They want to keep a distance from the family. So keep that in mind. We'll come back here. Okay, here the Magara Lagna, Sunny was in the Lagna. 3 aspects, 3, 7, and 10. It's aspecting the 3rd house, and it's aspecting the 7th house, aspecting the 10th house. 3rd house, anybody remember what is the 3rd house for?
Siblings, brothers and siblings.
Okay, siblings here.
Courage, communication.
Courage, yeah.
Younger siblings. Younger siblings.
Younger siblings, yes.
Younger siblings.
Exactly. If you don't have an younger siblings, you won't get distance. There is a higher possibility you will get a distance from your siblings. A higher possibility. Then you may ask, no, I have siblings, but I don't have. But when the Sunny was aspecting, the distance may not be the physical distance. The physical is in the mind itself. The aspect the 7th, there is here the delay in the marriage will come. Most of the time, when the Lagna Sunny peoples will get delay marriage. Okay, then you will want to know when I have the Lagna Sunny and my marriage was in my correct age. The correct age in the sense it's between the 20, within 26 or within 20, or at least 28. But when I say delay in marriage, it's about 30, 35 or above that. Okay. When delay, if they are not a delay in marriage, if it was happening in the early age, that means the correct age, their marriage life may not be that much happy. But everybody who looks them, okay, they are really happy people and they're happy couples. But when you ask the Saturn people, the Lagna Sunny people, are you happy in your life because you got yearly married? Are you happy in your married life? They may say, most of the time, 80% of the people will say, no only. They're not that much they can't adjust the marriage life if they get married before correct age. Let it be correct age. They got married into the correct age. But imagine a situation. The delay in marriage is really good. When the Lagna Sani peoples was there, delay in marriage is good. Why? Their maturity level becomes high when the age goes by. They can handle any number of situations, whatever the situation which is going to happen in their marriage life. One thing, they can able to accept them, or they can able to handle it. If that was the case, if you go and ask them, okay, Vanita, the Lagna Sani and my marriage was good, you go and ask, are you happy in your marriage? Like, yes, my wife is my friend, or my husband is my friend. We enjoy our life. They say like that. Listen, higher chances. You may ask, either you're saying like this, it is 100% yes. No, there is no 100% yes. This is chance. This is the probability. It may come, it may not come. Okay. Aspect the 10th house. 10th house is your business, your profession. If you are entering into a business which is relevant with the sunny significance, you really prosperous in it. Look at the sunny significance, heavy thing, heavy metal business, or mechanical engineering, mechanical construction, or into a law engineering, any kind of the thing which is involved heavy metals. If you enter into that kind of the business, you are prosperous in the profession is limitless. Okay. Any doubt about the Lagna Sani? No, yes.
Vinita, I wanted to ask you, Lagna Shani is Maran Karaka, correct? That means it will create obstacles throughout your life, or more in the Dashabhuti stage, and otherwise also Shani is you are going to have trouble. I mean, but Badhak Sthana means, I mean, can you explain the difference between the two? I'm a little confused.
The Margasthana is the, okay. Margasthana is the thing which is going to give you an obstacles in your life. Badhagasthana is that sthana will give you the greediness and you make them to do it so that it will give you the trouble. Or the Badhagasthana, it was like this. It won't disturb you until you touch the greediness. Once you touch the Badhagasthana tendency is it makes you to greedy. Greedy means you want to do the extra thing in your life, which that house was needed. Okay. If you touch that greediness, the Badhagasthana will effect comes into your life. But for the Maranakaraka, it was not like that. It gives you a trouble in different ways. But how you can manage it? But for the Lagna Sani peoples, this is the one important way. If you created the healthy habits, if you created the healthy lifestyle in the beginning of your life.
If you train yourself, if you're trained and if you create discipline in the early years,
why we need to do yes? Why we need to do that? Because we are invoking the Saturn's energy only. We are not going out of the Saturn. We are invoking one of the important characters of the Saturn. So you make them to do organized work. You make them to do self-discipline. So once you did that, they won't breach the law and order. They were very much self-disciplined. They won't harm themselves, harm others. They are very they have the habit tendency towards the healthy one. So once is everything was in impact. Okay, now the Marna Karaka definitely it will give a different kind of an obstacles in their life. But when the Saturn in a Lagna people, what is their biggest thing? When the age grows, their maturity level is also grows. Because that kind of an obstacles in front of them, they know how to handle the peoples. They know how to handle the situation. Okay, I'm in this kind of a situation. I know how to manage. They won't get depressed.
Okay.
Okay.
And Badhak Sthana, when it's in the 9th and the 11th house, that will create some kind of greed in the person.
9th and the 11th house. Okay. It depends upon Lagna also, where your 9th. Imagine a situation your Badhagasthana for the 9th house. It will increase your greediness. It will increase the need of wanting in your life. Exactly on the 9th house related. What is the 9th house? It's for your gurus. It's for your father-in-law, or need for the temples. So imagine a situation, the Badhagasthana Dashabhuti was not happening. And you are a person, you are going to give a donation to the temple, 1,000 rupees every month. Imagine, this is the situation will happen for you. You give us it, this is the 9th house. The donation is a different thing, but you are trying to help the temple or anything which is relevant with the 9th house.
Okay.
But when the Patakasthana Dashabudhi was happening, it increased you the greediness of that. That means you want to do more. Until 1,000 rupees, it won't affect you. Okay, I'm just giving an example.
Yes, understanding.
Okay,
Yes.
now the Dashabudhi was happening. You feel like, no, I'm giving only 1,000 rupees. Now I want to increase. Then you will give 10,000 or lakh. Okay, how come it is going to affect me? Because your money is going away from you. That increase, that Bhava Karagatu, then the Badagastana will come into play. It makes you to do the work. Okay. Once it was done, the side effects will come after that. Then once you put the money into the donation, you don't have an money in hand. You may have the liquid assets in your hand for the next few days that you really want to urgently finish the job. So that kind of the Badagam you will encounter in your life. The situation will differ, but the idea is only one. In your mind, it increases your greediness. So then is it possible all the time you can maintain your greediness? Not possible in a practical life. But once you encounter the situation, once you have an awareness, okay, this is the thing which is going to make you put me into this kind of a situation. This awareness pull you out.
Okay.
So here, Vanitha ma'am, if suppose Lagna is in Capricorn, Makara, so 11th house is Vrishchika will be the Badagastana. 1197.
Yes.
So Vrishchika Sana, what will be the impact? For Badagastana, when will the effect come? Or what kind of effect will come?
Okay, when the 11th house, okay, what are the 11th house? Your fulfillment of desires, your love, your any kind of fortune, all the things.
Elder siblings.
Elder siblings, particularly elder siblings. Okay, and this is the people, they really find it hard to find the luck. Imagine a situation, they find the luck. And how much they luck they get, that kind of the pain they will have also. Okay, now, for these people, for the Tara Rashi, the luck is impossible for them because the 11th house becomes the Patakasthana when, okay, here. When they consider a situation, they have the luck for 5%. Okay, they will have the pain for 50%. So that is also come next to each other. So once they acquire this luck, then this is also coming to affect into their life, or at least 5% pain will come. And okay, imagine this situation also. This person want to have a desire of one thing. Consider they have the desire of finishing the education, the higher education, and this is the desire for them. Okay. If it was happened just like that, imagine they didn't put any hard work. They had this higher education, someone was sponsoring and something was happening. And this higher education was coming into effect and he or she can able to finish it. Okay. This is the luck for him. This is the desire was finished. Okay. Now the after effect. Because there was the luck was placed and the desire was fulfilled, he or she may not able to use his higher education efficiently. This is the side effect of that. Okay, now imagine the same situation. He had the desire, I want to finish my higher education. Okay, now he or she is putting his effort tremendously. And this much of effort he was putting and getting into the higher education. Once this was done, there is no luck here, right? Because the hard work is only placed. And that too, he was the Graha which is in the Lagna. It's again the hard work. and he puts that kind of the hard work to gain this one. If this desire was fulfilled, the Bhatakasthana won't get affected, won't give you the side effects. Because whatever the thing which you are going to, or whatever the Bhatakasthana which you are going to give that kind of the pain, you already enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Because in order to achieve, you
Your
already
hard work was
achieved.
there. Your hard work
Yeah.
was there in that.
If that was done, then there was no pain after that.
Mm.
You understand this difference?
Yes, yes, yes. So, in case to avoid, I mean, for these people to avoid or to get certain things to achieve, so what should be the mindset?
Hard work.
Okay.
But the hard work is the main thing, but they have to do it very strategically. Why I'm saying that, I will tell you. When the Mercury person was doing one work and the Saturn person was doing one work, okay? If it was considered it is a hard work, and the Mercury put its intelligence and finish it off in very few days, or even if she or he can't finish, it took help from others to finish it. Okay. But for the Saturn, already the energy was filled with hard working, even it holds that energy, it more needs other help. The person, the mindset of that person, as a tendency, try not to accept other people's help. No, because I can do it, because I have this energy and I have the hard work energy, I can finish it. Okay, what is the difference?
But I wanted to say one can work hard like a donkey, and one can work hard intelligently also.
Yeah. And the Mercury will finish in 10 days. Is that the hard work? No, it puts a strategy in place. He get the help from others, and he needs the knowledge. He took the knowledge from other people, and he uses his own knowledge and finish the work in 10 days. But when it comes to the Saturn, it won't take anybody's help. It puts all his might, and it may take 100 days to finish this. So what is the thing they have to change here? They have to develop a habit to get a help from others whenever they need. Okay, and here is also one toughest point for the Saturn. They didn't have the idea when they need the help also. Okay, the Mercury knows very well when they want to ask the help, when it want to get the action to be done by the others, the Mercury knows it very well. But for the Saturn, didn't have an idea, because that hard work energy will tremendous energy in it. It feels like, okay, I do all the work on my own. I don't need anybody's help. That tendency have to be changed, or at least have to be changed a little, and it has to open its mind to get help from others. So that they have to form a mindset, or strategically they form the mindset to finish the work very efficiently. Okay, is this is possible for the Lagna peoples? Absolutely yes. Because when you, that's why I said, when you install one pattern into their mindset or into their body, that's it. It gets into them just like that, and they will become expert in it. But if you didn't show the picture in front of them, if you don't give the knowledge into them, they won't use it. Even when they become an adult also, they didn't have an strength or mind strength to get help from others. But when the kid was growing, you tell them whenever you need help, ask them. It's not wrong. You form a strategy. Because you are taking too much of time. But okay, one interesting thing. If you go and tell the Saturn people you are taking too much time, 100 days, the other people can do it 10 days, they really get offended. But instead, you don't get offended them. Tell them, okay, if you speed up your work, get help from others, strategically. This is the point. You ask the Saturn peoples to use the Mercury's energy. Okay. Or this is confusing, or this is okay.
It's okay, ma'am. So they should not be relying on luck. They should have their hard work to be involved in that.
Yeah, and same time they similarly they don't have a tendency to ask help from others.
Yeah.
When the kid was growing, it is our responsibility to teach them Okay, it's not wrong. You can get help from others, but that it have to be, you have to show to them which is right and which is wrong. Because once this is one good thing, one bad thing also about the Lagna Shani peoples. But once you install any pattern into them, you can't change. So be careful whenever you install any pattern into the kid who's Lagna Shani.
Yeah, to be healthy habits.
Yeah. But that's it. Even if you
Vinita,
try
this is
to,
only Lagna Shani or also aspecting Lagna or what?
the one thing which I said, the pattern thing, it's 100% match for Lagna Shani peoples.
Okay.
I already told you about the Saturn, which is sit in the place, gives more effect than its aspect. I mean, aspecting gives more bad effects only, but wherever it was sitting gives is kind of a good aspect. You can invoke the Saturn's energy, a good Saturn's energy in a different way.
Okay. Get it. Thank you, Vinita.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
I thought we'd finish the 4 houses. Okay, let's finish it off today. We'll end the class here. Any doubts till now?
No.
No.
No one.
Awesome. We'll see you all next week then.
Thank you,
Okay.
Anita.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank
you
you,
all.
Vinita. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Anita. Wonderful
Yes.
class. Thank you.